We've all heard that defense wins championships. And as a Ravens fan, defense is really ingrained into our culture and what we believe in. Some of our greatest players, of course, were defensive savants, great at doing everything and striking fears into the hearts of our opponents. So every single year, defense is extremely important to us as Ravens fans. And this year is no different. However, I've heard some ramblings and rumblings. You guys know I keep my ears to the streets. And I've heard some Ravens fans afraid that our defense is going to be worse than last year's defense and maybe even take a major step back. In this video, I want to talk about why I think our defense will be equal and or take a minor step back, right? Again, defense is one of those things where it's inconsistent from year to year, even if you're a great defense. But I still think our defense will be a top 4 defense in the National Football League this year and will be plenty good enough to compete with the highest of the highest teams and give Lamar Jackson a chance to win us a Super Bowl on the offensive end. And there are 2 main reasons I believe this. First, of course, it's the Joes, right? It's not about the X's and the O's always. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. When you lose a coach that's so good at the X's and O's like Mike McDonald, you have to replace him with another good coach, of course. But more importantly, it's the players, the Jimmies and the Joes that you have to replace him with in order to remain excellent, right? And the Ravens have done that and have always done that. We have one of the best general managers in the entire National Football League in Eric DeCosta. And I'm telling you guys right now, I truly do believe that Eric DeCosta has done another masterclass when it comes to putting together a team that can compete. And again, we're talking about defense specifically right now. So what do we do to make sure that we still have that same level of excellence on our defense? First, of course, we have Roquan Smith, who is a force multiplier. He's a player that is so good that he forces other players to be good as well. And he did something beautiful for Patrick Queen, and he can do the same thing for young players like Trent Simpson when they come into the league and have a chance to be great. Again, Trent was there last year, but of course had limited roles. This year, his role will be much larger, and we'll see how great Roquan is at elevating the players on the team, and if it was really him and not Patrick Queen. But that's not the only great player that we have. Again, it's the Jimmies and the Joes, right? The plural. And of course, we have, I think, the best safety in the league in Kyle Hamilton. And I think Kyle Hamilton will make some noise for Defensive Player of the Year this year and will be one of the only times in recent memories where a safety has had that kind of impact on the team. Of course, you have the great player, Kyle Hamilton, but you also have excellent players around Kyle like Marlon Humphrey. Brandon Steffens really stepped up and really became and cemented himself as a number 2 cornerback in this league at the very least. And of course, you always have the untapped potential of Marcus Williams for the Ravens. Of course, he's been great in the league, but injuries have really hampered him. So what happens now when you have all those great players and then you re-sign players on the defensive line that really can help us like Matty BK? When you put all these players together, how can you be a bottom team in the league? Other than injuries, right? We understand injuries can do that to you. But if everyone is healthy for the majority of the season, how can you be a bottom defense? It's just not possible, in my opinion, with that breadth of talent we have and the way that the Ravens can develop that talent. And of course, when we talk about player development, there's one person we have to talk about, and that is Coach John Harbaugh. Now, I do know that a lot of Ravens fans, for some reason, don't like Coach Harbaugh. I don't really get it. But when we look at the ranks of the Ravens defense, there has been one consistent person that has crossed across defensive coordinators, and that is John Harbaugh, right? Dean Pease got great results with Dean Pease, got great results with Rex Ryan, got great results from Wink Martindale, got great results from McDonald. All of this really shows how a consistent force at the head coaching position who has a overall knowledge of the game can really help a team and especially a defense. We've seen that Coach Harbaugh has coached defense in the past, specifically the secondary. We know that Coach Harbaugh is good at game management. We do know this, right? He is one of the best coaches when it comes to letting your players make impact plays and not biting them in the foot by asking them to do something unrealistic. And the whole time we've watched the Ravens, I've only seen 2 times where I disagreed with John Harbaugh's overall approach. There was one year in the last year of our coach, Wink Martindale, where we still try to play that aggressive blitzing scheme, man on the back end, but everyone was injured, and we were getting burnt constantly. And then again, when he tried to make Ed Reed more of a safe player instead of letting Ed Reed do his thing. Those are the only 2 times. And so he's been in the league for over 14 years. We have to trust John that he's made the right decision in getting Coach Orr to be the coach for the future, right? Again, he made the right decision by picking all those other coordinators, and especially when he's decided to make a leap and say, hey, this one is my guy, right? Again, Dean Pease is not John's guy. Dean Pease was a coach that's been coaching for a long time. Wink Martindale was not John's guy. Wink Martindale was a very tenured coach, right, that worked his way up the ranks. All right, there are a lot of coaches. Of course, Rex Ryan is not John's guy. He inherited him, right? But Coach McDonald was John's guy, so much so that he said, hey, you're great. Go to the college game, prove that you're great, and come back here and you got a job, right? That is his guy, and he was 100% right. When John picked his guy, he was right. And when you do that, you get another chance to pick your next guy, right? And he picked Zach Orr, and I'm excited to see what happens there. So those are my 2 main reasons why I'm confident that the defense will be great again this year. Now, of course, Zach Orr is going to have to prove himself. There will be some growing pains, right? Zach Orr is a player that really worked his way up on the field, right? He came in, had some disappointing time, but in very quick succession, really became a really great linebacker until injuries hampered his career. He can do the same thing in the National Football League, right? We are built to win. Now, will we have some bumps in the road on defense? Of course. But that's why we have a good team, right? And that's why I think we can still be great on defense, because the team is so good, the head coach is very good, and all that together will uplift Zach Orr to being the leader of one of the best defenses in the league. If I would have to, again, make a prediction, I do think we will be a top 3 defense in the league by the end of the season, and I think it will be really on the back of course, Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton, similar to how it's been in the years past. So you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Also, quick announcement, we do have a trivia game, and the trivia game is the way that I want to give back to you guys, right? And so I'm going to give out prizes based on the winners of the trivia game. Prizes, of course, like Ravens shirts, Ravens memorabilia, and maybe even tickets if we get there, if it becomes popular enough. But I need your help. I need someone who enjoys trivia to participate. You guys let me know if you want to do it in the comments, and then I'll reach out. Thank you guys so much. Go Ravens.